Okay, here we are with Greg Flames, Pirate of the Seven Galaxies, episode 2. Right. Very good, very good. So, well, for a recap, read one more time about Greg, the text you created. Greg is your creation. Let's let us hear you tell us about Greg Flames.
Uh, sure. So I'm Greg Flames, the pirate of the Seven Galaxies. I am 51 years old. My curly hair is of a deep brown with a few white ribbons, and my eyes are as black as the empty space between the stars. My beard is long and heavy. I'm tall, my muscles are well defined, my aim is awesome, my sense of humor is weird. I own a badass pirate ship and I lead a small group of specialized pirates. We hunt zombies in space for a living. I like shooting, hunting, and drinking beer with my crew. I drink cheap space coffee every morning. I smoke lavish and flamboyant pipes. Every now and then, I visit planets just to have some dirty little fun. I was a street urchin on a forgotten planet many years ago. I had to steal to survive. Edible food was not something I would see every day. One day, because of a whim of fate, I pickpocketed the wrong or right guy. He was a pirate with a unique combination of high awareness and a dark sense of humor. He beat me up, but after that, he decided to recruit me. Since that moment, I have visited countless planets. I have overcome many challenges and I have met a variety of beings. Some friendly ones, some not so friendly. But most important, I've been climbing the pirate ladder so flawlessly that I have become the leader of my own ship. Right now, my crew and I are hunting another ship full of zombies through the Milky Way. We are navigating light speed to reach a section of the galaxy where we believe this ship is in.
Very good, very good. So, Greg Flames, so you started, right? Last episode you started hunting down the ship, the something maw. Let's
Yeah,
say the something maw. Yeah, the ivory maw. Or maybe
the
maw
ivory.
mouth, the ivory mouth. So you're hunting down the iron. You were hunting down the ivory maw, and what happened last for in our first episode?
Yeah, we. So my ship uh, was pulled from the warp, right? Pulled off from the warp,
What was pulled? Not off.
pulled
But,
out.
but yeah, why? Let's talk about. I was having a similar thing, like of the correct verb with the correct preposition. Sometimes a verb with the preposition, could change completely the meaning of things, right? So, well, and it was the same thing. He wanted to say get off, and it was supposed to be get out.
Yes, yes, yes,
So when
yeah.
is it get off, and when is it get out, or in this case, pulled, not pulled off, pulled out?
Yeah, because pull off is if you need if you have to do something that is, I don't know, difficult and people
If you
would
pull
ask.
something off, yeah, that's very good. That's right. As oh, you pulled it off, right? You did something like no one expected you would do. Like, wow, he did it. You succeeded. You pulled it off. But okay, but think about like off and then like out. Like in the case here, we're talking about uh you were we were in warp, right? Look at that. You're
Yes,
in warp.
yeah,
That's why I pulled out. If you're in something, you come out. You get out of it. Like so in the other discussion we were in a van, and he said he you know he he got off. But in this
Hmm.
case, he got out because we're in a van. Some vehicles we say we're in. Some vehicles we say we're on. People mix this up. Like I got off the bus because
Bus,
I'm
right?
on the bus. So if you're on something, you get off. You know, or else pulled
Yeah.
off. Let's say if you were on the warp, like on top of it, or if it was considered like warp, let's say it's like public transportation, like a bus, a train, the plane, like we're on the plane, we're on the train, we're on the bus, these public transportations that carry a lot of people, we say on. Then if it was like that, then we could say we were pulled off the warp, right? But warp, we're in warp. But like in some other vehicles, we're in a car, so we got out of the car, not got off of the car. We got off of the bus, got off the train, got off the plane because we are on these things. Or if I'm like literally on top of the car, right? I'm
Yeah.
on the car, right? I'm on top of it, right?
Yeah.
Then I could, get off the car or be pulled off the car, right? So these prepositions are important. Right, in on any preposition, but the verb in a preposition, we need to always pay attention to verb prepositions, right? Because sometimes a certain verb with a certain prepositions, like look, look out. It's like toma cuidado. Look at is to direct your eyes at something, to look at something, to look for, procurar. You look like, parecer. You look like something. So different word, right? So we can't just get attached to the meaning of just the verb, which sometimes people do, right? Gotta. That's why verb prepositions. That's why all the time I talk about the verb and prepositions. Well,
True.
so we were you were Greg
Yep.
Flames. You were what
Pulled out
from warp? Yeah, you were pulled
of,
out of warp. Yeah,
out of war.
warp.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. By a weird eldritch elf ship.
yeah. That's
Right.
what we. It didn't really tell us if it was an eldritch, or it did, right? It gave us a lot of
Uh,
hints. It was an eldritch
yeah.
type.
With tentacles. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this tentacle being like some Shogoth or something, right?
Yeah.
Right here. Looks like some, Lovecraftian Shogoth. And the elf had like a lot of eyes,
That's true. Mm.
right? And he was acting kind of weird. So
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
and then what?
So and then this elf guy demanded us to hand over our cargo and something else maybe.
Uh-huh.
And but I decided to face him. I mean, I said no in a very
In a
badass
badass
way.
way, yeah.
And then
And very intimidating. You were
yeah,
very intimidating, right?
yes, no one threatens my crew and
No
you
one
know
in the present, no one threatens
uh,
my crew.
yes,
Yeah, no
no
one does
one,
that. This year I'm saying this as a fact, right? No one threatens. No one does this. No one threatens my crew and gets away with it.
yeah, precisely, yeah. So yeah, I intimidated this elf. He was very afraid of me after we talked like
Yeah.
very even briefly, and then he actually handed over his cargo
Yeah,
and
yeah, because you told him, no, okay, now no, you hand over your
yeah,
cargo, right? And then
yes,
I'll let you go. Because he'll
my
say it was
patient.
practically that. He said, hand over your cargo, we will let you go. And you're like, nah, 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 nah. You hand over your cargo and I let you go. Right? Something like that.
Yes,
Because he wanted, and so you got his cargo and he got the hell out of. And that was practically it. That's a good intro to show to see, first episode that you could see that Greg Flames is a badass. Even Eldridge Lovecraftian space elves, you know, get are intimidated by Greg. So let's see here. Okay. So just so the last thing that happened, right? You because you called him a clown. Let's so the holographic image of the elf flickers for a moment as his composure breaks. Behind him, the tentacled mass retreats into the shadows, seemingly intimidated by your lack of fear. The elf's multiple pupils contract in unison, a sign of genuine biological stress. A clown? The elf whispers, the multi-tonal frequency of his voice cracking. He looks at his crew, then back at you. The bravado is gone, replaced by the realization that he has pulled a shark into a koi pond. We did not we did not realize the Crimson Hook was commanded by one so unyielding. He gestures frantically off screen. A heavy thud echoes through the comms as several massive glowing canisters are ejected from the dreadnought's cargo bay from the dreadnought's cargo bay into the vacuum of space. They float toward your ship, shimmering with elven runes and containing enough high grade refined stellar essence to fuel your ship for a decade or to sell for a fortune on the black market. Take it, the elf spits, though his hands are trembling. Take it and leave this sector. The great roots have no more business with you, pirate. The dreadnought begins to power its engines, preparing to retreat into the nebula. What do you do, Captain? Do you let them free, or do you have other plans for this clown and his bio ship? So, what do you do? Uh,
Just a summary, I guess.
yeah, just a summary. Yeah, weapons retreating after giving you valuable fuel. The Ivory Maw. Oh yeah, remember, right? This is the mission, right? Main mission so far. The Ivory Maw. The zombie ship is still out there. Yeah, so remembering. So they're retreating. They gave you shit. You can, is asking, do you want to just let them go? Probably like blow them to smithereens, or just let them go and continue off to hunt down the Ivory Maw. You know.
Yeah,
So this is where
you continue.
Greg Flames, Pirate of the Seven Galaxies, Episode 2, really begins. So, you may you may write down what you do.
Okay.
Okay. Mm, all right. Okay, so you may read.
Yep. Um, Stupid space elves. I mumble beneath my breath in my beard. Maybe. Before the corrupted elf ship vanishes, I order my crew to shoot at the few cargoes. I want them to see that I despise them deeply. I don't want your loathsome stuff. Now get out of my face. I say while laughing out loud.
Okay, okay, very good. So let's see how this goes. Oh, didn't ask for an image. Okay. No, no. It's not an image.
That's
It's bugging.
can you redo maybe the
Yeah, wait, let me if I oh wait. Okay. Let's see. It made it it blew it up. Oh, but okay, but it gave the grammar rule.
Okay, okay,
No,
cool.
wait. Is it? Okay. Yeah, was giving some spoilers in the beginning, as usual. Always some
All right.
spoilers. But let me see if it. Yes. So grammar rule: the cost of contempt. Your crew has carried out your order, and the space between your ships is full of exploding stellar essence, as seen in image. Here, let me see, because you're blowing the shit out of everything here. Your crew is confused, so to see if they remain loyal after you destroy a fortune, choose the correct words to complete these sentences. Okay, so one. The crew watched the explosion, their faces a mix of confusion and
A, think anger.
two. Why did you blow up the fuel? A gunner asked, knowing better than to yell at the captain.
Yeah, loudly. B,
If the crew had known the captain would destroy the fuel, they will try, would have.
would have D.
Okay. It didn't use
Yeah,
things that
mine.
what you wrote. I did this, but I was kind of curious to see what it would do because it was supposed to do. Because there were some things that it could have used. But next time I'll say use. Remember to use.
Yeah,
To make the grammar rules, use what I have written, right? But I'll just come. I was curious, you know. After
yeah.
we can see this, and then we can read together what you have written, and and discuss what we need to discuss. But I was curious
All right.
here.
Let's see.
So before let's talk about
Yeah.
here. Uh, I understand. So let me see. Referring back to the previous, Ivory Maw is still missing. Of okay, Captain. That was a very specific choice. Your writing is quite good here, but there are two errors to address.
Ah,
Okay, so it
true.
is talking. It just okay.
Yeah.
Irregular plural. You wrote space elves. The correct plural of elf in English is elves with a V. Yeah, I didn't know. I hadn't noticed that, but yeah, but F. Words that end with F or FE. We need to put a VE S at the end for plural, or for verbs, the final S on verbs is the same, practically the same rule. So following the rule where words ending in F often change the F to V and add ES. So correct, stupid space elves. Subject verb agreement negative. You wrote, I despite them deeply. Okay, despise. The verb should be the present simple, but the negative construction is missing or incomplete. You probably meant either I despise, this is what you wanted to
Uh,
say, right?
yes,
Them deeply.
true.
Present simple affirmative, or I do not despite them deeply. Yeah, that's not what you wanted to say.
No, no, the spies. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
You wanted to say you despise them deeply. Yeah.
Yes.
Despite what wasn't written, perhaps you meant to imply a negative that wasn't written. Based on your previous context, you likely meant to emphasize a lack of fear or hatred, perhaps. I despise them deeply. Yeah, that's what you wanted to say. You meant the original intent. You must see, I do not despise them deeply, or simply, I despise them. Your previous post established hatred. The structure you wrote is confusing. Okay. Correction. Assuming contempt. I despise them deeply. Present simple, despise.
Yes.
Or I don't.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
spies. What I wanted.
Okay. Verdict here. A correct. Anger is the noun for required. Sorry. Anger is the noun form required here. Yeah. Incorrect. While grammatically a word loudly is the opposite of the context, the gunner was knowing better than to yell at the captain. So quietly was the logical choice. So I think you understood this part really well, right? What
Yeah,
does it mean?
but
So knowing better than to yell at the captain.
I think it was just I rushed into the answer because I imagined that he was yelling actually. But
No,
is
no.
that
No,
exactly
yeah.
what
So
I
why did
understood?
you blow up the fuel? A gunner
I guess
asked. You know, not loudly, knowing better than to yell. It's like, if I said this,
that's
I did it this way, knowing better not to do it the opposite way. Right?
super true. Yeah. I rushed
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
with an answer.
Softly or quietly. A gunner asked quietly would be his best, but it could be softly, I guess, too. You know. Why did we blow up the fuel? A gunner asked, quietly, knowing better than to yell at the captain. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, where is it? So the D correct. This uses the third conditional would have past participle for an imagined situation, right? Past situation. Yes. That if the crew had known the captain would destroy the fuel, they would have tried to stop him, right? That's third conditional. I talked about the third conditional yesterday. What is the third conditional?
Is the is something that uh, is a theoretic is a
I
future
Not future.
theoretical could pass like
Yeah, no, the future thing with future is first conditional. If you do the if you study, you will, probably pass the test. You might pass the test. You could pass the test. I'm talking about if something is the truth now, that future is probable. That's first conditional. This is third conditional. What is third conditional? Third conditional is a hypothetical past event and its
yes.
outcome. It's an alternate reality in the past. It's an alternate timeline in the past. It's a it's a past event in another dimension. It's Back to the Future. It's Terminator. It's time travel movies that you go to the past to change it. Because if that had happened, this would have it would have been better. You
Yeah.
know, because look at that. If the crew had known, so the if clause has the past perfect. Remember, what is past perfect?
Uh, is connecting the past with the past.
Yes, you're connecting past with the past. If the crew
Yeah.
had known the captain would destroy the fuel, so past with past. So it's like, imagine they're in the present. He destroyed the fuel. If they could go back in the past, you would go before he destroyed the fuel, right?
Yeah.
So, like in any time travel, there's a past event that's past simple. There's the important thing in the past. He destroyed something that happened. He was assassinated, whatever. So you go back. You want to go more into the past to prevent that. Past perfect. And I'm at right. So if the crew had known the captain would destroy the fuel, they would have tried to stop him. Right? They would have stopped him. And so in the next part we use would, could, or anything or other. What's mainly would with have in the past participle. Would have gone, would have seen, which is practically the present simple. So if I had studied, I would have passed the test. If I had to, I didn't study. I
Yeah.
didn't pass the test, right? But
Yeah.
if I had so if I go back in time and study before the test, I would have passed the test. So that pass. So why do we have like that? The have, and we don't exactly call it the present perfect, but there's have and past participle, which is part of the present perfect. That means that past event would obviously, if I change the past, the present moment will be different. Because so past perfect, connecting past with past, and then between quotes, I will say present perfect. It's not exactly present perfect, but have and past participle. But it is, usually past participle has this present moment as the result of the past, right? The
Yeah.
present moment is the result of the past. That's why past participle verbs can be used as an adjective. Why? Because that adjective, it is like that. I can say that's present simple. It is like that. Why? Because of a past action. So if I am drunk, right? Drunk, the adjective, bêbado, but it
Yeah.
comes from the past participle. Drink, drink, drunk, right?
Yep.
So if I'm drunk, that means, you know, I have drunk, past
You-
drinking was involved. If something is broken, it's broken now. It wasn't
Yeah.
broken before. If it's broken, that means a past thing happened for it to be broken. Break, broke, broken. Right? So yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah. Conditionals are important to know. It helps us
Yes.
be a little more, descriptive and be able to, express ourselves better. Very good. Very good. So we're doing that. So outcome, partial success. Your grammar was strong, but the logical choice for the second question tripped you up. Your crew is loyal, but they are whispering behind your back about the lost treasure. Yeah, crew loyalty. This is an issue with pirate, stories, right? Always.
True.
Grammar correction feedback. So again, irregular plurals you wrote space elves. Remember F we
Elves.
elves we need the VES. Leaf leaves. Wolf wolves. Elf elves. Vocabulary spelling and uses despise. You said despite.
Yeah. Despise. Despise.
Despite you being how do I say what despite is in Portuguese? Despite being
Apesar
tired.
de.
Apesar de, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Despite apesar de.
Yeah.
Despise, desprezar. So despite
Yes.
is a preposition meaning in spite of, right? To express deep hate, use the verb despise. So despite is that. Despise is what you wanted. Laughing, you wrote laughing incorrectly. We didn't see that either. I didn't check
With
that.
the T.
You
Yeah,
put
yeah.
a T. No T. No T is necessary. There is no T in the middle of this word. Contextual logic, the gunner. In the gunner role, the sentence mentioned the gunner knew better than to yell. Therefore, asking loudly or choice B contradicts that caution. Quietly was the success answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot agree more with that.
Very good, very good. So let's read the next part.
Ooh.
Story outcome.
The stellar essence canisters erupt in a spectacular display of emerald and gold light, sending shockwaves that rock the crimson hoop. The elven dreadnought doesn't wait to see the fireworks. It blinks out of the sector in a flash of bioluminescent energy. On the breach, the silence is heavy. Your crew members exchange looks. They see the fortune you just turned into the space dust. One gunner mutters something to a navigator. You catch the word insane, but they quickly snap to attention when you turn around. Captain, your first mate says, clearing his throat. The scanners have picked up a lingering trail of necrotic particles. It leads toward a nearby
It what?
asteroid. It leads. It
Yeah.
leads.
Uh
Sorry.
huh.
It leads toward a nearby asteroid belt. If the ivory mole is hiding, that's where they have gone. But we are running low on high-grade fuel after the last stunt. What? No, no one has told me that.
No one
Uh,
started like what? Say it was contaminated by an eldritch, um,
I agree. I
an
agree.
eldritch virus or something, right?
Yeah,
Say you
I
know it was
I'll say that.
yeah something yeah.
But we are running low on high-grade fuel after the last stunt. We can reach them, but we won't have much left for a chase if they bolt. Just then, a proximity alarm blares.
Blair's starts rah, 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 to blares
Like,
means to go off, a very loud sound going off like an
yeah,
alarm, a, a, a,
not sure.
a car
I've seen
horn. Yeah.
proximity alarm blares. Something is emerging from the debris,
Debris. The debris.
debris.
Yeah, there's an S, right? But we pronounce it debris. It's like destroços.
Yeah, debris.
Debris. No S. Debris.
Debris. We
Yeah,
don't.
no S sound. There's an S, but no S sound.
Debris. Something is emerging from the debris of the canisters you just destroyed.
You have
It isn't
usually just you have just destroyed
just
would be the most
exactly.
correct. This isn't that bad, you know. This isn't bad. Remember that, but it would have been better. Always when I see this, it's good to remember that you with just acabou de fazer, right? That implies a connection of the past with the present, right? So
Yeah,
you have just destroyed. Uh,
yeah. It isn't the elves. It's a small, shimmering creature made of pure light, an eldritch wisp, and it seems to be attracted to the lingering energy of your ship's engines.
and you say, see, that's why I didn't want it. They're gonna
Oh,
keep this
yeah,
creature overboard. You see, trust your captain. Trust your captain. So what do you do, Captain? Focus on the zombie ship in the asteroid belt or deal with this glowing hitchhiker first? So, so I don't know if we will have make an image of this. Uh, do not make any extra narration. So, I'll write it down, but I would like to hear what are your thoughts and what you want to do next for next episode. What
Well,
so what are
well,
you
for sure.
thinking? So what are your where do you want to take this? What are your plans? What do you think is going on?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that we we had no view.
Why
That
didn't
was new.
anyone tell me that?
Yeah. No. What? What? And then I know that I've been probably smoking a lot of pipes lately.
Yeah,
Maybe
probably. Yeah, yeah.
they have tried to warn me before, but well, anyway, uh, I'm not sure what to do. I will probably try to. Well, I will say something to my crew, probably just quickly, just to say, see, exactly like you said.
Yeah,
You
see,
should
this
trust.
is they're gonna put this on board. I knew what I
Yes,
was doing. Everything is 100% what do you say? How did Chapolin say? All the time when he would fuck up, right?
yeah, it was yeah, it was calculated for
Everything's
sure.
well calculated. Yeah,
Yeah, and probably I don't want to deal with this thing. Most likely, just like just not sure if I would like since we don't have much fuel left. Not sure if we would chase this Ivory Mold ship right now, or we would just turn around.
yeah. Just get away from this thing, or you can remember it's your story. You could say do things, invent, say no. You could have your character say, "Oh, this is something." Like things about the universe, right? So it's
That's
like
true. That's
usually when I do this with other, if there's like more than one person playing, more than one player, then it just keep to the sort of like your character, what and so you won't contradict what the other players, and but here you can say, oh, you see that thing is, we can use it as a weapon. I had to blow the
we,
containers. We had to capture it outside to use it as a weapon against the ivory maw. I don't know. It can become a
that's true.
pet. It can, remember everything. We don't, we can in this type of RPG, since the AI is the dungeon master, we can coerce the dungeon master to put things that we want. Or, I like sometimes when I play, I know I don't want to do that. I want to see what the AI is going to do. I'm just going to keep to what my character does, what my character thinks, what my character feels, later, uh, like probably to have like one of the a companion or something or someone else to when you're writing, like to put like a third person. Oh, I do
Okay,
this. My first mate does that. To write first person things and have a third person, so we can write in the third person. Right? There's different. I go, I see, I watch. He goes, he sees, he watches. So different subjects, right? So different things to think about. But well, what the hell is that thing outside? We will see or not next
yeah,
episode, right? But
right.
very good, sir. Well, have a good week, have a great weekend, and see you on episode 3 of Greg Flames.
Yeah, cool. See you next week. Have a great weekend, you too.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Cool.